Boundless equanimity is quite important because if we don't apply boundless equanimity towards our practice of loving kindness and compassion, there's a high risk that we're going to be biased towards different kinds of beings, preferencing those we care more about, those we're more connected to, and ignoring and sometimes, practicing the opposite of love towards those we dislike or we're indifferent towards. So there's 3 types of relationships we explore within boundless equanimity, as well as the other 3 boundless states. And these types of relationships revolve around, number 1, those we're close to, those we have a deeper connection towards. Number 2, those we dislike, those we find difficult to get along with, or we have difficult relationships with. And number 3, those we're either indifferent towards or more neutral towards. And this includes most people, because most people in the world we don't know or we don't have a strong connection to. Now, just right away before we get into some more detail, I want to point out there's nothing wrong with you or me for holding these biases. These are natural human responses. But from a Buddhist path perspective, they're something that we can transform. And we can transform it because right now it's limiting us. So part of what's connected to this term boundlessness is practicing and transforming ourselves so we become more unlimited in our relationships. So if we really reflect what it feels like to have a closed heart, it means we're cutting off some kind of connection to ourself or another. And of course, we're all going to have difficulties with ourselves or another. This is a natural part of life. But these approaches of the 4 boundless states on the Buddhist path offer us another way. They offer us another approach, another way to work in the world. So I just want to say that right away, that there's nothing wrong with us for having these habit patterns, but there's good news. They can be changed. They can be transformed, right? So there's many ways to approach why it's important to cultivate boundless equanimity. But one I find really helpful is just starting to notice that it's actually painful when we're non-equanimous, right? So when I'm having an emotion that I dislike, it's painful because usually I'm resisting that emotion or I don't want to be with that emotion. So there's pain in that resistance. And the same in a certain kind of relationship or situation where I'm disliking a person's action, or I'm disliking the situation I'm in. It's too cold, it's too hot, whatever it is. And this also forms a sense of pain. So the way I sum this up is that essentially bias is a form of pain. It's a form of suffering. It's a form of dissatisfaction. In the Buddhist traditions, we would call it a form of dukkha. So this is why it's important to open up our bias. This is why it's important to practice equanimity on a daily basis if we can, or to at least try it to see if this can affect us in a helpful way.